How are you, my fans, sneak peepers, and curious friends? I am difficult and demanding. If you want to know my real name, then hold still, and I might bring your wish to fruition. Before we begin, you can find this podcast show in iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, Blueberry, Google Play Music, TuneIn, YouTube, and Stitcher. This is the I'm Difficult and Demanding podcast, keeping it real, uncensored, and shooting straight between the eyes. The third eye, that is. I am going to hit you with explicit truth. This solo show is outrageously honest and keenly witty with a view into life. Yes, I said life. That's what we do every day when we wake up from sleeping. We are living life. Well, some of us at least. Let's get something straight. Really, really straight. I am truly, actually, habitually, and shamelessly difficult and demanding. And I completely own it. Now, I don't ask for much because I expect and receive it all. I firmly believe that if you expect shit, you will receive shit. What does that mean? Well, it means expect nothing but the best and don't settle for less. As always, I, your host, Tara, am keeping it real and uncensored. Come here. There's a few things I want you to know. I spent so much time pondering. I wonder about what I should share with you. Will it captivate you? Will it keep you coming back to me for more? Yes, more. Don't you want more? I know you do. Why settle for less? No, we don't settle for less. We get more. We take more. Well, it's that time. I have something for you and I want you to take it all. Come into my world and unplug from your life and dive all into episode 65 of the I'm Difficult and Demanding podcast. How much are you worth? And are you for sale? You and I both know there's a price tag for any and everything. Oh, you're saying no? The right circumstances at the right time will cause you to question your morals and abandon your personal boundaries. How much will it take for you to cross your boundaries in exchange for cold, hard cash? Before I begin, I am going to do a call out. What's a call out? Well, it's not a shout out. I am calling out you motherfucking lurkers. If you have entered my world, then be honest with yourself about it. You want to be here, and you know I want you here, so follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Finally, climb aboard and enjoy the entire show because I am giving you plenty of ridiculous honesty. Once the podcast episode ends, I am keeping it going on my Instagram page at Difficult and Demanding and on my Twitter page at Mrs. D&D. All right, everyone. So what I'm going to be talking to you about today is another article. And this article is called The Kisses That Paid My Rent. Yes, I'm going to repeat that. The title of this article is called The Kisses That Paid My Rent. Now, some of you are probably immediately disgusted. Some of you are intrigued. And some of you are in shock and denial by what this article was called. And no, this lady is not a prostitute. But when you read the title of this article, it's called The Kisses That Paid My Rent. That's what it's called. That's what I said. And what you understand is what it actually means. And no, she's not a prostitute. Now, some of you judgmental motherfuckers will say, well, I don't care what you say, Tara. If she's selling her kisses or her ass or motherfucking hand jobs, that automatically makes her a hoe, a prostitute, a thought. If you guys don't know what a thought is, it's an acronym for that hoe over there. And this is where this episode is going to get really, really interesting, because some of you are familiar with 50 Shades of Grey, but we're going to play 50 Shades of Truth. What is true? What is appropriate? What is inappropriate? What is legal? What is not legal? What's prostitute behavior? What is not prostitute behavior? It's amazing how our definitions of things, they alter, they evolve, they change depending on the people involved, the circumstances, or the story behind something. But this article is called The Kisses That Paid My Rent, and that is exactly what we're going to be talking about and more today with me. So let's proceed. This young woman, she moved to a new country, a foreign country, because she had something to prove to herself and to her parents, that she could actually stand on her 2 feet. So she moved to this new country for a new job, and this job was not paying her. The only thing that her new boss could offer her was a place to stay and a list of contacts that she could reach out to get supplemental income to help pay for her life while she was in this foreign country. But the reason why she moved out there was on her own dime, just to prove to her parents and herself that she had the gumption, the wherewith to stand on her own 2 feet. And that is the background for the story. So her boss was a woman in her 50s, and her boss had a boyfriend, a lover that was in his 60s. So this young lady was young, probably mid to late 20s. She moved to a new foreign country to work at a job which did not pay her, but offered housing and a list of potential clients for her to teach English to. Her boss was in her 50s, and her boss's boyfriend was in his 60s. When she arrived in this country, she was picked up by her boss and her boss's boyfriend in a Mercedes. They met her at the airport, and she ended up living with her female boss. Unfortunately, the circumstances in which she was residing was not to her liking, was not to her comfort, but she did not have a choice. She thought about returning home, but then that would basically make her look like a failure. And she did not want to appear to be a failure. So she had to find the strength, the courage, the wherewith to make it through this rough time until she built a client profile, paying client profile that would allow her to get the necessary housing that was more suitable for her. But in the meantime, she was sleeping on a futon with a barely functioning heater. So after a week of her arrival in this country, her boss's boyfriend took her out to lunch. Now, anyone with some sense should know that that was a motherfucking red flag, because there's no way that her boss would send her boyfriend to take this young lady out to lunch. I would call that's a telltale sign. I would say that's a clue. I would say, you know what the fuck is up. Wouldn't you? You got a man in his 60s coming to meet you during the day to take you out to lunch. Your boss did not say this is what's happening. And even if she did send her boyfriend, what's the reason? What's the rationale? What's the reason? What's the rationale? Unless they're trying to get a motherfucking threesome, which is possible, but I don't think so in this circumstance. Why would this gentleman be reaching out to take her to lunch? You think he's kind? You know he wants something in return now, don't you? Of course he wants something in return. A man of that maturity is busy. Why would he take time out of his day to be what? Thoughtful, kind, attentive, for no benefit at all? Now you and I both know that's some straight up bullshit, now don't you? Yeah, but we like to hope for the best and wish for the rest. Yeah, let's move on. After lunch, he took her to a real estate office. He handed over an envelope with cash in it, and the agent slid a key over. He then took the key and took her to her new home. He said, the first month of rent is a gift. The next month you pay. What do you think about that? What do you think about that? I would say that's quite slick. I would say he was an opportunist. I would say he was quite keen and astute. That's what I would say. He saw a young girl buying her own plane ticket to come to a foreign country in which she did not speak the language at all for a job that paid her $0. No money at all. He also knows that his girlfriend is a motherfucker that would invite this young girl to come live with her, to stay on a funky ass futon with a barely functioning heater. So he knows his girlfriend. He knows that his girlfriend played this young woman. But they're also smart enough and have the wisdom to know that this young woman must have something to prove for her to come all the way out there to take a job on her own dime. So this man started calculating the odds, the probability. He knew she only had so much money. He knew how difficult it would be, especially if you don't speak the language. And he knew she had something that he wanted unbeknownst to her. What man pays 1 month of rent? What man pays for lunch? What man takes you to a real estate office and what do you think? A complete stranger is going to be that generous and it doesn't cross your mind what the fuck is up? Or is it easier to act like you don't know? Is it more comfortable to deny, to sweep under the rug, to paint it as just a kind person with a generous heart? Why do we play these games with ourselves? Why can't we accept and see what the fuck is up, what's going on? Why do we walk down the path with our rose-colored glasses and our blinders on, trying to make something seem different than what the fuck it is? Because if you acknowledge to yourself that a stranger that you've known for a week has picked you up, taking you out to lunch, taking you to a real estate office, paid for your first month's rent, and arranged for you to have better accommodations, and you don't ask, you don't question, you just hoping that what he asked you for is what? Not too much? You're hoping that he's a motherfucking fool and doesn't ask you for anything at all? Tell me how you gonna play this shit in your head. Tell me how you gonna make sense of the shit. You get in the car with someone who is essentially a stranger. They take you to a real estate office. They hand over cash fucking money and a goddamn envelope to a real estate agent and gets a key. This person then proceeds to take you to your new home and paid for your first month's rent. And you don't think this motherfucker wants anything from you? Come on now. Your boss is not paying you a fucking dime. Your boss didn't even buy you the airplane ticket to come the fuck work over there. So you got this stranger that you just met through your boss doing all this for you within 7 goddamn days of you arriving, and you don't know? You don't know. Or can you not face the fact that it's you who's in these circumstances? It's you who made the choice. And it's you trying to find a way to make your way through this without putting the labels on you, right? What people are going to call you a whore, a prostitute, a slut, a hooker. What are they going to label you with? You can't think about those things, right? When you're in a desperate situation, you have to park that shit to the side so you can survive. And you figure, hey, if he's fucking stupid enough to what? Get the key, pay the money, and you never asked him for it, your thing is 2 tears in the bucket, fuck it. That's on him, right? You're figuring this generous, mature fool is doing all this and you didn't ask him for it. So as far as you're concerned, you don't owe him shit, right? Of course, that's what you're thinking. Why else would you take the key? Why else would you stay in the place? Why would you accept his generosity? Because you're hoping that he does not ask you for anything, and you're hoping he does not have the fucking balls or the dick to back it up to come to your ass to ask you for what the fuck he really wants. That's called wishful thinking. That's called young, immature thinking. You got to see when a motherfucker's angling for you. You got to see when someone's coming for you. You got to know how the fuck they're approaching you. You can't play coy and dumb. You got to know what the fuck is up. Now, if your issue is how you see yourself in the mirror because of what you are engaging in, then that's a different topic for a different day, for a different goddamn episode. But the fact is this: you are accepting something and hoping you don't have to give anything in return. You're hoping, you're wishing and praying that this person is really kind. But no one coughs up that much motherfucking money. And no one shows up at an opportune time where a young lady is desperate, alone, needs help, and needs money. And you think it's a coincidence. There's no goddamn coincidence. There's no coincidences. So, she got the new place. A month of rent was paid. It was paid. She accepted it all as a gracious gift. Now what happens? Her money starts dwindling fast. Her savings. Because her savings was only enough to get her through while she was staying with her boss. But the fuck up is that the accommodations that the boss provided was subpar, was substandard. So that threw a monkey wrench in her whole plans, because if the boss gave her suitable accommodations, then this young woman's money would have lasted her much longer. But like I said, the boss played her, and the boss's boyfriend recognized an opportunity, and he moved in for the fucking kill. He moved in for the kill. So both of them, as far as I'm concerned, are predators. So her money's dwindling fast. She can't call her parents and ask them because they're convinced she can't do it. She's convinced that she can do it, and she wants to prove them wrong and prove herself right. So you got ego and pride coming into this mix. So what do? You get scrappy. You go into survival mode. You try to figure some shit out. Eventually what happens? Guess. Some time goes by. Enough pressure and stress has built up on this young lady because her money's going fast. Now this man, he's smart enough to know what the fuck is up. So he didn't approach her immediately after he paid that first fucking month's rent. No, because she's feeling good. She thinks that she can build her clients up, get her money right, get everything straight, and live the life that she believed and hoped and wished for. So she can call her parents and say, see, I did it. Now believe in me. But this man, he's smarter. He has more wisdom. He has more years. So he knows how the fuck this is going to play out. Especially she can't speak the language. So he lets some weeks go by. He lets her money run low. He keeps tabs and pulse of her what's going on through his so-called girlfriend. And eventually he returns to the apartment. Yes, her boss's boyfriend eventually returns back to her door, the door that he helped her get. He started coming to her door, showing up at night with a bottle of whiskey and bar snacks. Young lady, alone, stressed, money running out. Boss is not helping her. Boss doesn't give a fuck. Boss is getting what she wants. And this lady, the only one that cares about her well-being is her. So she has this so-called quote-unquote good Samaritan that got her the place. All of a sudden, he arrives at the right time where her money is at the right lowest level. Her self-esteem is at the right lowest level. Her fear levels, her insecurities are at the highest level. So here he is at her door with whiskey and bar snacks. When people are stressed, what do they want to do? They want to motherfucking escape. They want to take the edge off. They want to decompress. So she lets him in. And they start talking. Simple. Innocent. Right? She's lonely. She's scared. He's giving her some comfort, security. He's taking an interest. She's hoping that he's kind again and he can help her out and pay a full month of rent again or a partial month. She's hoping for his kindness and generosity because he originally helped her. He didn't ask her for anything. He found her place, took her to lunch, paid cash for her first month's rent, and didn't ask for anything in return. So what do you think she's doing? She's hoping and wishing that it's the same goddamn setup. And all she has to do is take a few moments, have a few drinks, and talk to this guy and hope that he will be generous again. But unbeknownst to her, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. He was priming her. He was setting her the fuck up for what he really wanted. But this motherfucker was patient. He's strategic. He knows what he wants, how he wants it, what's the best way to get it, and he's patient to wait for that shit. So one evening, very late, he was over chit-chatting with her, and he decided to put a stack of money on the table between them. That's what the fuck I said, because that's what you heard. One evening late, after they spent several evenings just drinking, chit-chatting, enjoying each other's company, he threw a curveball on her ass. He put a stack of fucking money on the table in between them. And guess what he said? He said, you need money and I need you. What you think about that? I think it's fucking quite direct. I think that's fucking some pimp boss shit. He set this shit up. He orchestrated this shit. He saw an opportunity and he played his fucking cards to get to this moment. He told her, you need money and I need you. What do you think about that? It's quite direct. It's startling to realize that someone wants you. And the real thing is, he doesn't want a really deep relationship. No, he's not looking for that. But all along, you and I and her, she must have known that this man must want something. He came out of the blue. He helped her. He disappeared, reappeared for a reason. He set the situation up so he got his foot in the door. And once he got his foot in the door, he kept pressing for more and more and more. The question is, what was he up to? And she did not want to dare to ask him what he really wants, because if she asks him what he wants, he may throw some things out there that's too much, too extreme for her. So it was easier for her to deny. It was easier for her to skirt the issue. It was easier for her to hope that all he wanted to do was to drink, eat bar snacks, and motherfucking chit-chat. But her instincts had to have told her it was something different. He waited till her money was low, close to gone, before he actually approached her and told her what the fuck he wants. And to make matters more difficult, he enticed her like a motherfucker. He put a stack of money right in front of her face. He knows she needs the money. She knows she needs the money. But can she show how desperate she really is? No, because to show her desperation, which would give him probably more power over her in the situation. So she played it cool. He slid closer to her after he put the money on the table. Why was he so bold to do that? Because one, she didn't bitch slap the shit out of him when he put the money on the table. She didn't say get the fuck out. She didn't say anything. She was in a quandary. She was pondering, what the fuck do I do? Am I insulted? Kick him the fuck out? How do I do that? I need the money. Where am I going to go? Where am I going to live? I can't call my parents. What do I do? So this man is watching this whole scenario play out in her motherfucking head. And as far as he's concerned, that's a goddamn opportunity. Because in the midst of her confusion, that is a way for him to move in and go for the kill. So he slid closer to her. And what he said to her? He said, one kiss. One kiss. All this money on the goddamn table that pays half her rent or more. And all he wants is one kiss. Now, what the fuck would y'all do? Huh? He didn't ask to finger her. He didn't ask for any ass play. He didn't ask for her to strip the fuck naked and record her fucking videotape her. All he asked her was for one kiss for half a month of her rent or more. What would you do? This motherfucker smart as hell. He's using the foot in the fucking door approach. He's made her an offer she cannot motherfucking refuse. And he knows this. He is helping her transition down this motherfucking path. He is. He didn't say let's lay there butt naked, spooning and cuddling. No, he said all I want is one kiss from you and you can have this fucking stack of money. What would you do? It's very enticing, huh? Something so simple worth so much motherfucking money. How many of you would turn away from that? Shit, some of you men, y'all may forget that you're not gay and kiss this motherfucker for that money. Let's be real. Let's be true. We like to play these games and these goddamn pretenses, but let's get to the heart of the goddamn matter. What would you do? Stack of money. Half your month's rent or more. And depending on where some of y'all motherfuckers live, that could be a lot of money or less. I don't know. But let's assume it's a good chunk of change to pay for your rent or your mortgage. And a person only wants one goddamn kiss from you. How many of you married women will forget that you're married and kiss this motherfucker for the money if you need it? How many of you men will forget that your ass is not gay and kiss this motherfucker for your money? How many? Most of you can sit here and say, no, with your goddamn lips. But you and I both know if no one is around, no one's going to find out, and you want that money, you're going to give those motherfucking lips. Yes, you will. You'll never admit it. And if you can't get caught and there's no goddamn proof, that makes it even more reason for you to do it. So who are you playing? Who are you in denial about? We all know what the fuck is up. I know and you know. Most of you will kiss and take that money and hope that he does not come back and ask for more. But you got to understand, when people operate like this, they're leading you down a goddamn path, kind of like a sheep herder, and you're the sheep. They're taking you on a journey. They know how to do what they do to get what they want. They don't ask for everything they want up front. No, they ask for the small things. They don't seem like too much. But if you take a step back and look at the bigger picture, you will see what the fuck is up. They're hurting you. They're leading you down a path. And because you're young, you're hopeful, you're wishful, you're naive, you're saying, no, that's not true. If he wants X, he would have told me X. So if he hasn't asked me for X, then I must not know what I'm talking about. And it's just as simple as him just wanting to drink whiskey or have bar snacks, or it's just as simple as him wanting one kiss from me. You don't see the forest because you're focused on the goddamn trees. But this motherfucker has game and he knows what the fuck he's doing. He can't ask you for what he wants all up front because he will more than likely get a no. So he's setting up circumstances and situations where every step of the way, you are more than likely going to tell him a yes. So now that we've established that most of you will say yes, let's get back to the story. He slid closer and said one kiss to her. He also said that this is not so much money. This is not so much money. And this kiss, this is not so much for you. Yes, that's what he said. He said, this is not so much for you. And money, this is not so much for me. We need what the other has. Aha, 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 motherfucker, ha. What you think about that? There's no emotion. There's no emotional, mental, spiritual tethers. No, this shit is straight surface superficial. You have what I want, and I have what you want. Now, because of these circumstances, can we exchange this shit? We don't have to like or love each other. I don't give a fuck about any of that. But you have what I want, and I have what you want. And let's exchange. Would you do it? You're saying that sounds like prostitution. That sounds like a whole bunch of sounds like a whole bunch of shit, not just prostitution. Okay? So let's not even go there. That's like an employee-employer type of relationship. I have money. I need to hire someone. I want to hire you. Do you want the job? Yes, you take the job. You give me your skills. I give money. It's an employer-employee relationship. It's a partnership of some sort. But they both have what the other person needs. The only difference is he wants to buy her fucking kiss, and she's not sure if she wants to give the fucking kiss or not. But that is what the exchange is about. Are they going to do it? Should they do it? Would you do it? How desperate do you have to be to do it? I guess that's why they say there's a price for everything now, isn't it? Everything has a goddamn price. It has a cost. So after he said, we have what each other needs, she said to him, I can't. She said, I can't kiss you. I can't do it. But he saw that she was hesitating, and she kept looking at the money. She wanted it and she needed it, and he saw that shit. He knew it was a matter of motherfucking time before she caved and said yes. Because in the grand scheme of things, a kiss, how does a kiss equate to that much money? To pay half, if not more, or all of your rent. I told you he made her a deal that she could not refuse. He also made her a deal that she could not refuse originally when he gave her the place and 1 month of rent. So she should have saw a pattern of this guy when he makes moves and he offers shit. He does it in a way that you cannot refuse it. He makes you offers you cannot refuse. He backs you in the corner. He pigeonholes your ass, and you don't even know what's going on. Because you are caught up in your own mental dilemma about, is this right or is this wrong? Is this right? Is this wrong? Should I do it? Should I not do it? It's only a kiss, but it's wrong. I need the money, but I need to get the money by working. Not working your lips, but working. But unfortunately, fate has brought you an opportunity to work your fucking lips to get half of your rent money. So then she started what we do. She started doing this. Guess what you know what she started doing? We start rationalizing and justifying shit. Yes. We got to work through this mental process because you know damn well you need the money. You know damn well you don't see where the rest of your rent's coming from. So how do you make it through it? You start explaining your actions to yourself in a way that helps you feel better about what the fuck you're going to do. Because your feelings are all wrapped up in the shit. How this looks, how it feels, is it right? What are people going to say about me? But when you have someone who's making you offers that you cannot refuse, you better believe that you're going to come around and say yes to this motherfucker. So to her, she started telling herself, a kiss was just a kiss. Nothing more. It's a simple exchange. Money for a kiss. Her youth for his money. Her youth for his money. Yes, youth. That shit is priceless. Youth is powerful and priceless. It gives you opportunities that you never thought you would want. You would never thought you would have to experience. Nonetheless, here you are in a situation with which your youth has a price tag, and someone's willing to pay you for it. So she indulged. She got that money. She gave that fucking kiss. What do you think about that? She gave the kiss. She got the money. And this went on for a few months without them taking their clothes off. And sometimes she would feel guilty about the money. Let me ask you this. Why would you feel guilty about taking the money? Oh, because you're giving someone a kiss. You don't have feelings for them. You don't care for them. You don't really give a fuck about them, but you're giving them a kiss to get money from them, and you feel bad. Because you feel that, one, you should only kiss if you really like the person. And two, you should not get paid for your kiss. Here's the funny thing about all types of relationships. Relationships exist to have some sort of a goddamn exchange. When you're dating someone that you like and this person's taking you out, going for dinners and all that, they're paying for you then. The only difference here is that you like that other person versus this one. But the fact is, you've kissed motherfuckers for free and you've gotten less for them. So how is it okay to kiss people for free, get nothing from it but stress and heartache? But here you have a situation where someone's saying, you know what? You got what I need. You got what I want. And I have what the fuck you need. Take this money and give me your motherfucking honey, which is your kiss. How was one situation wrong and was the other situation right? How is it possible? Whether you kiss someone you like and love, or whether you kiss someone you don't care for, either way, you are expecting to receive something back from each person you kiss, because you don't kiss for a reason. You kiss for a reason. You kiss because you want something in return from this person, whether it be their touch, their warmth, any gifts in the future to have a relationship. So if you can feel comfortable with that, then why in the hell you can't be comfortable with this other situation? You feel dirty? You feel like you're selling yourself? We're always selling ourselves. One way or the other, we're selling ourselves. Everything has a goddamn price in this life. You cannot escape it. There's a price for what you have to experience in life. You're going to pay one way or the other. So if you happen to be young and you have your youth and someone sees that as quite a large quantity of cash, what you going to do about it? Now, most of you, if you have a choice, you may walk away from it. Some of you, if you never get motherfucking caught, you will go for it. Others of you, you're going to do it because circumstances don't give you many options and you need to survive. You need to make ends meet. So you're going to do what the fuck you need to do to make that happen. Guilt, you haven't harmed anyone. The only thing that you have tarnished is your image of yourself. The only thing that's crumbling is your world and the things you never thought you would do, the things you never thought you would have to do. That's what's feeling bad. If this man knows I'm willing to pay all this fucking money for a kiss, you can't feel bad about him thinking your kiss is priceless. That's his problem. So if you feel guilty because you think you are lowering yourself to some type of standard, and which changes your character and who you are. Whether you're kissing someone for free, quote unquote, or you're kissing someone for half your rent, the act is the same. The intentions behind it is different. But the fact is, your goal is to get pleased, whether it be getting kissed back from someone that you want or getting the cash from this person. Don't feel guilty. You need to work that shit out. Now, occasionally, he would beg her for actual sex and said he would pay any price or her rent for a year. He said he needed her energy, that she was his fountain of youth. He needed her energy. She was his fountain of youth. What do you think about that? She had such a profound impact on him when he saw her the first time that he came to the conclusion that this one is the fountain of my youth. And if I approach her normally, like a normal guy would, she would decline me because of my age. So he started orchestrating shit to get her and him to this juncture, to this point. He wants her energy. He wants his youth, her youth. He wants to feel alive. And he's willing to pay any amount of money to have that. That's some powerful shit. So that's some dangerous, deadly shit. Where you're willing to cough up that amount of money for a simple kiss. I'm asking you, what's wrong? I'm asking you, what's going on with you and your girlfriend that you are to this state? What's wrong? Clearly something must be wrong. Otherwise you wouldn't be engaging in this. But here's the good news. She drew a line in the sand. She put her foot down as far as the extent of what is going to happen or not. She would not budge. She decided she wasn't sleeping with him and she wasn't going to sleep with him. Simple. Then he said, I'll stop giving you money. And when you're poor enough, you will have sex with me. What you think about that, huh? Her response to him was, I'll leave this country first before I will ever sleep with you. She knew her limits. She knew her limits. And you have to respect that. She also gained a much more powerful position because she knew how much he needed her. And clearly he needed her more than she needed him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have resorted to such threats. So she didn't sleep with him. And they continued the way they were going. She gained a more powerful position and she also had greater insight, which gave her the upper hand. She did not sleep with him at all. And the funny thing is, in her mind, she could not fully understand what was going on because she was a shy and ordinary girl. She wasn't a knockout, nor very attractive. The only thing that she had was youth. Her youth was her beauty. Her youth was her power. And she didn't know that until this moment. So all of us, at different points in different stages of our life, we have certain gifts. And a lot of us like to think that, you know what, if you're young, that's when you're most powerful. That is when you're most vivacious. That is when you're most enchanting. That is when you're most seductive. And what I'm saying to you is, her youth was her power. But as you age, you still have your power, but your power shifts. Your youth ceases to be your power. But when you're older, you have wisdom. You have the wisdom that this guy had, in which he was able to notice an opportunity and allowed him to create an even better opportunity to get his hands and his lips on someone else. He used his power of knowledge, wisdom, experience to help orchestrate a situation in which he was able to access someone's youth, which gave him vitality. It gave him life. We need to stop thinking that as we age, we mature, our body shifts and changes, that we lose our appeal. No, you never lose your appeal. Your appeal alters, it evolves, it changes. And if you can identify that you have lost the power or the power tied to your youth, your power is not being lost. Your power is being shifted into another force, another energy, wisdom, experience that allows you to be able to have a higher chance of getting what the fuck you want. So don't feel because you're aging, don't feel because you're getting older that things are over for you, that your youth was the end all be all. No, your youth is not the end all be all. That is your goddamn starting point in life. But as you mature, you grow, you age, your power shifts to different types of things. Her youth, her power felt really real on those nights that he came over. And every night she would watch his Mercedes fade in the fucking night. And then at that point, she would pick up the money. She would not pick up the money or touch it while he was in her presence. To do that, it would give him more power. So by her acting like she's not desperate, like she doesn't care, when everyone knows that she's desperate and she cares, she's able to withstand her position. She was actually amazed how such a small thing, a kiss, that she's given away for free for eons, could have such value. Yeah, here we go. We have these notions in our society of how we should behave. We have these notions of things that we should or should not do. If you give a kiss, you must give it because it's a loving, right thing to do. You must never charge for your kisses. You must never charge for your hugging. You must never charge for your fucking. You must give that shit away for free. And you should only give it away for free if it's someone that you like or you're committed to. Why is one form of an exchange better over than another? Why does having your heart, your feelings, your mind involved in the situation makes you giving someone a kiss better? How? You're giving a kiss, that other person wants the fucking kiss. Whether it's love or not, or money or not, it doesn't matter. So if we're going around judging ourselves, thinking we're better for not directly selling ourselves for profit, the fact is you are. When you get dressed up, you go out to dinner and dinner is paid, you're selling a portion of yourself. You're selling your time. You're selling the image of being with you. Everything has a motherfucking price. So if you don't feel guilty about getting dressed up and seducing a guy and allowing him to take you out and feed you and pay and do all that stuff, if you don't feel guilty about that, then why the fuck are you going to feel guilty about giving a kiss for half your rent money? Oh, because it's just cold, shallow, unremoved, and it's just a physical act. There's no sentiment behind it. If you got what someone wants and they got what you need or want, it is what it is. We need to analyze why we're carrying guilt around and for what purpose. Because to be honest with you, we all sell ourselves one way or the other. Directly or indirectly, we're selling ourselves. And we need to respect and own that shit. One is not better than the other. The fact is, what are you comfortable with? And if you're poor enough, hungry enough, cold enough, you will find yourself doing shit that you never thought you would or could imagine. And some of the things you have, it's priceless. And you need to identify what's priceless within you so you know when to use that tool. Now we fast forward the clock 20 years later. The same woman remains unsure about the right and wrong of what happened. Yeah, right and wrong. What is right and wrong? She received money for her kiss versus her receiving a dinner, entertainment, a nice walk, and a hug for a kiss. Both situations, the other party wants her kiss. But instead of giving her cash money, this other person has feelings for her, trying to woo her, and spending money on her indirectly. So it's okay for someone to buy you indirectly, but it's not okay for someone to be upfront and tell you what the fuck they want upfront. That's wrong. That's prostitution. That's solicitation. That's some bullshit. How can indirectly be better than directly? The fact is, that is what you're doing. That is what you're perpetuating. That is what you're dealing with. So if we want to just walk around casting judgment on someone who gave hugs for money, gave kiss for money, gave companionship for money, the fact is you're doing that shit for free. And most of you motherfuckers are in a worse position than what you originally were because you're living this type of situation. So be careful on how you judge something. We're all doing it. The question is, who has the balls to boss the fuck up and do it directly? It's easy to operate indirectly. It's easy to operate in a haze of denial. But you're all offering up and serving yourself off. The question is, what are you gaining? What are you getting from it? If you're doing things in which you are not gaining, you're not getting better, there's not an exchange that makes you happy, you need to evaluate yourself. Having your heart involved all the time in a situation, that doesn't make you better. It doesn't make you better.
People like what the fuck they like. They want what they want. And really smart people start playing to their strengths. You're young, you got youth. You're older, you have wisdom. You have experience, sexual experience, all that. Use that shit for your advantage. Don't think because you lost your youth that your energy, your power has faded away. No, it just evolved into something else. She said she has pride and shame about what happened, and it's all tangled in her brain. She says she has pride in her resilience and drawing a line in the sand and not crossing it in regards to the sex. She says she feels shame at the depth she fell to figure out things for herself. She thought giving kisses for money was very low. It's the lowest of the low. And that is her opinion. That is her opinion. But do we really have to be that hard on ourselves? We have to take a step back and look at things. You're saying, well, I can forgive her because she needed the money. She was desperate. She didn't have a choice. Does that really matter? She had youth. She had kissed. She gave it. In return, she got what she needed to live her life, her best life. A simple, harmonious exchange. It doesn't matter that you're exchanging money for an experience with someone's body part. It doesn't matter. The fact is, there's always an exchange. What type of person do you want to be? Do you want to be a person who's getting shit indirectly? Or do you want to be a person who say, this is what the fuck I want. You got it. Bring me that shit. Bring it now. Can you be that audacious? Can you live your best life and experience all that? Can you? Will you? I'm not telling you what's right. I'm not telling you what's wrong. But what I am trying to tell you is you don't know what you will or will not do unless you are in those circumstances. You don't know what you could be stacked against. So before you go saying this person's this person's a whore, all that, you might want to tread very lightly and carefully because you are probably doing some shit that you're not supposed to be doing in your own mind. Is it right? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck cares? Is it wrong? Who the fuck knows? Who the fuck cares? She needed money. He needed her youth. And this is simple as that. Very, very simple. You're helping each other out. I would say that's a pretty darn good thing. You're helping each other out. But you have to work through whatever things you have in your mind and how you feel about it. You really do. She says she has an uncomfortable sense of gratitude for this guy. She said she's grateful because he understood that she was desperate and he offered her a transaction that gave her the opportunity to fulfill her dreams and show her parents that she could do it, that she could make it. He didn't ask for too much, nor did he give too less. It was pretty much equitable. Did he push the limits? Yeah, he pushed it. He tried to take it further. But overall, he kept to a certain circumstance with her help. And he taught her something that she can use for the rest of her life. You have to really determine what a person wants from you, what they see from you. You have to nail that fucking shit down. Because when you can ascertain what they want, then you can see how they move, how they're doing, why they're doing what they're doing. And you can see the end goal, where they're headed. You must always do that shit. You don't want to be completely blindsided by this lady, by someone saying, hey, I got money, give me a kiss. No, you want to expect it. You want to see it. No one does something for nothing. Everything has a price. So going forward, you want to make sure that you calculate that price and you figure out what that end goal is immediately. She said he showed her there are concessions you make that you never dreamed you would. And you try as you might to forget. You try very hard to forget. You never thought you would do it. Here you are doing it. And you want to wipe that shit from the slate. Why wipe it from the slate? Stand in it. Embrace it. Be it. You don't want someone to find out because you're fearful they're going to judge you. They're going to judge you anyway, no matter what you do. So you might as well figure out how to live your best, safe, secure, happiest life and not care about what other people think. But the fact is, we all have to make concessions. We have to compromise. And sometimes you may have to offer up some shit that you never thought you would offer up or want. But due to life and circumstances, you find yourself in that situation. Do you go home with your tail between your legs and admit defeat? Or do you keep pushing until you break through? Do you do things that you may not have ever thought you would do, but you're doing it? We all make concessions, one way or the other, knowingly or unknowingly. And I think the only real issue that people have is blatant disregard for the norms and offering cash money for one's rent. You believe that is hooker behavior. If that's the case, then we're all a bunch of hoes, because on some day in some way we have done some shit that we probably wouldn't want to do, probably wish we didn't have to do, but we did, and we try to move on, forget about that shit. I'm asking you not to forget about it. Embrace it, learn from it, and keep it as a part of who you are. Do you have to share that with anyone? No. Do you have to share it with everyone? No. But don't shy away from that wisdom and knowledge, because then you can see how powerful you are and what you have to offer. And then you can navigate this situation much more swiftly and easily if you do things that way. What is your value? What is your worth? What is the price tag tied to that? What are you willing to do? What are you willing not to do? What is it? Everything has a price. Some may be low, some may be high, but everything has a fucking price. So she sold her kisses to pay her rent. Some of you are giving up more than just a kiss to get your needs met. We need to be less judgmental. We need to be more open and understanding. We have to. We need to. If all she got to do is give a motherfucker a peck and her rent's paid, then so be it. Let it be done. Let it be done. You feel guilt? Why? You're not harming anybody. All you're doing is giving away something that you would have given anyway, and you're receiving money in return. So you feel bad about accepting the money? You would feel better about doing the shit for free? No, you wouldn't feel better about doing the shit for free. So you need to accept the fact that you're not doing it for free. You're doing it for the money, or you're doing it for the dinner, you're doing it for the music, you're doing it for the experience. But you need to understand why you're doing it, how you're doing it, and where your boundaries and limits are. And then once you get that, you flow through life. You do what you do. You do you. You do the best you. But don't judge, because your story may surprise the fuck out of you if someone keeps adding in the details. You just need to understand. Just because you sold your kisses does not make you a bad person. It does not make you an evil person. It does not make you a person in which one doesn't want to be around. No, it's all concocted. It's all fraud. It's not true. It's not true. Who knows what's right and wrong? I would say listen to your spirit, listen to your soul, and follow that. Read the signs that you get, follow that. And really analyze the situation and say, okay, is this too good to be true? Then analyze what's going to come next and come next. You got to know where someone is angling. You got to know what they're doing so you can have a better fight, a better plan, and being able to adapt. If you think selling your kisses for money is wrong, I understand. If you think selling your kisses for money is cool, I understand. The only person that really matters to is me. And if I'm happy, guess what? You're goddamn happy. Happy exchange. The best exchange. So for those of you who are out there saying, you know what? I would never do this. I would never do that. Be careful about that shit. Because with the right circumstances, you may find yourself doing naked ass cartwheels in the middle of the fucking street in broad daylight just to get what the fuck you want because you need it. Don't say what you will or will not do. Keep an open mind, keep fluid so you can see a better way, another way, an alternative. And if there's no better way, there's no alternative, and you are comfortable with giving your kisses for fucking rent money, then you give your fucking kisses for fucking rent money. You do what you need to do. But don't have any guilt. Don't have any shame. Get the lover you need and want. Get everything you need and want so you can live your best life. And if that includes selling your hugs, your cuddles, or your kisses, do it. Just make sure you protect yourself, you look after yourself, but do that shit. That doesn't change who you are. Who you are is who you are. If you're selling kisses for rent money, that doesn't necessarily define you. It only defines you if you allow it to define you. And since you've already been kissing motherfuckers for free, kiss for half your rent money then. Do it and see where the fuck you get. So that's all I have for this episode. Come back next week. Are you disappointed this has come to an end? Well, it doesn't have to. Reach out and let me know what you think about this episode and my podcast. You can try and slide into my DM, but I will kick your ass out. So I suggest you hop into my DM on Instagram at Difficult and Demanding or Twitter at Mrs. D&D, or leave a comment on one of my posts. How are you? Are you fulfilled? I bet you are overwhelmed. Yes, I know. I am a lot. Too much for most. It's okay though. You survived the thrill of me. So come back next week for another injection of Difficult and Demanding. Episode 66 is here on February 22nd, 2019 from the I'm Difficult and Demanding podcast.